Rebecca radio show. Thank you for joining me. I hope everybody had a great week and had a fun 4th of July here in the U.S. I'm not sure about all of you, but last week's predictions definitely applied to my own life, especially the contracts part and some of the other things. It was a pretty awesome week, I think, for myself anyway. I hope everybody else had an awesome week as well, and there wasn't too much of that judgment stuff going on that I had predicted. I did witness some of it on my own, so I'm assuming some people did deal with that. Hopefully it wasn't anything that was too traumatic or too painful of an experience. Just remember, it's always serving a higher purpose, and it is really all about perception. Tonight's predictions will run through next Thursday, July 13th. Here's what you can expect as an overall theme for the week, and then specific areas in love, work, finances, health, and spirituality. These are general predictions for everyone who watches and listens to this episode, no matter if you tune in live or watch the show after the fact, the recorded version. So this week, the general themes that I'm kind of feeling are travel, increased energy and self-confidence, getting things done and working towards goals, receiving positive messages, signs related to work, career, projects. There's an overall feeling of a sense of pride. So I feel like a lot of people will be connecting with like, wow, I'm super proud of myself. Like I nailed this, or I'm handling my goals, or working towards empowerment and improvement. And I kind of just feel like there will be a lot of feelings of pride. Also, I feel like there's going to be a big balancing act between the heart and the mind. So I feel like people will be dealing with that issue. So for some of you, it will be extreme emotion-based, heart-centered feeling type things that are coming up for you, where you'll need to bring in the logic side a little bit, use your awareness, use your mind to kind of balance out the emotionally reactive type things. And then for others, I feel like those of you that spend a lot of time in your head, thinking, over analyzing, going over lists, finding yourself back in like 1975, thinking about something that happened back then. I feel like you guys will end up becoming aware of that and need to pull up and, pull from the head down to the heart. So again, it's going to be a balancing act. And I feel like a lot of you will notice that this upcoming week. I also feel like people will be easily distracted. I feel like there could be a tendency for some of you having a difficult time concentrating and focusing on tasks at hand, no matter what you're doing. I just kind of feel like, again, that energy of kind of maybe being in the head space or the heart space could have you in your mind a lot, thinking either about emotions versus feeling them, or feeling lots of emotions and having negative thoughts. Also, I feel like this week coming up, there's going to be the masculine energies feel like they're going to be heightened. So, again, I feel like it's just coming up to be aware of, and masculine energy is very much about a doing energy. So, this is where, again, there'll be increased energy levels and you're going to be getting things accomplished. You're going to be handling things. So the masculine energy will be a little more heightened. So I kind of feel like some people that can trigger irritation and annoyance. So those energies, I feel like you're going to be triggered and feeling that within yourselves. Maybe feeling frustrated or irritated with yourself, or it'll be you projecting it outwardly, or you'll be receiving it from other people. So I feel like it's going to be kind of a combination of us acting out and it coming towards us. So projection and, it's going to be okay. It's not going to be as bad as it sounds. Just try to ignore it versus being reactive. Let's see, work. For those of you that actually are employed currently, I feel like for some of you, you're just not going to be in the mood for the 9-to-5 grind. I feel like it's just kind of that feeling of, ugh, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to be here. I don't feel like thinking. I don't feel like doing. But so if you have some PTO, I think take a day off, get yourself rebounded in that energy so you can connect with the increased energy flow when you're feeling a little less active. Do your best just to be present at work. I know it can be difficult sometimes. Maybe work on tasks that are, the things that you like to do, or the things that are easy, mindless stuff that you can just kind of get it done. Some of you, I feel like, will be traveling in connection with your work, with your job. And I feel like whatever travel that's happening, overall, it should be a good experience. I feel like it'll go pretty well. And some of you will actually have some fun with it. Those of you that travel a lot for work, I kind of feel like you guys will have maybe that, that mood of the 9-to-5 grind. Like, oh, crap, I got to travel again for work. Like, I'm constantly out of town. So, just kind of, again, try to stay out of your head about it. It'll all work out, and maybe use that time to consider taking a look at whether or not this is a job that you want to continue doing, especially if the, traveling aspect of it is getting pretty annoying for you. Others, I feel like, will be pleasantly surprised. I feel like you're going to have some successful projects that you've been working on. Either you're presenting these projects, or they're coming to a close, or you're making progress on them in some way. But I feel like you're going to just be super proud of yourself, and just, the projects will turn out like way better than what you expected. So I think that's going to be a good thing for those of you that are working on projects. Those of you that are looking for a job, I feel on the news, on the front with the work, I feel like this is going to be a good week. I feel like everybody's going to have a good week that's looking for a job. Some, I feel like you're just going to be really in action mode, and you're going to be going and getting these interviews, and you're going to be lining things up. And I just feel like there's going to be a lot of action involved. And then I feel like others will actually be hearing back from interviews that they already did. I feel like some of you have been waiting forever, like you did an interview 2-3 weeks ago and you still haven't heard anything. But I do feel like people are going to be hearing back about the interviews that they had, and you're actually going to land those positions that you wanted. So stay positive and just be open to receive, because I definitely feel like it's coming your way. Love, if you're in a committed relationship or dating, I feel like this week is going to be about communication. So I feel like be sure your communication this week is as clear as possible, unlike mine right now. Be as clear as possible with your partner. You want to make sure that you're expressing yourself, you're communicating, you're not holding back and being afraid. Obviously, I'm not talking about projecting blame. It's taking responsibility for what you're feeling. I do feel like there could be some tension if you're not communicating. So just, again, be open to talking. And if you haven't been making the time to actually talk to each other, this is a good week to do that. Reconnect with your partner. To me, I feel like if you don't make a conscious effort this week to actually connect with your spouse or the person that you're in a relationship with, I do feel like it could potentially turn into a situation where the universe kind of gives you a big push, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a disagreement, or you're disagreeing. To me, it feels almost like you're going to be disagreeing over lack of something. So whether it's a lack of organization, lack of participation within the relationship, or an overall sense of laziness where one of you is feeling neglected in some way. So I definitely feel like be aware of what's happening and open yourself up and communicate. Let's see. And if you actually do this, just talk to each other, I feel like a lot of you will come away feeling even more connected and closer than you have in a while. And it's something that you can keep the energy and the momentum going with that. Those of you that are looking for love, I feel like some of you single hotties out there, you're going to be meeting someone through work. So that should be interesting. I feel like this is a new person. It's not somebody that you already know. And again, it doesn't mean necessarily that it could be like a new hire at work, or it could be you're participating in an event somewhere out because of work, but somehow it's connected to work. I feel like this person will most likely have hair on the lighter side. And, I feel like it's going to be a nice little pleasant surprise and kind of get the juices flowing with the dating thing. So I'm excited for you guys. Let me know if that actually happens, because I want to know, because I'm nosy. Let's see. The rest of you, I feel like you'll be doing your own thing and you're going to be going about your business. You're just going to be more comfortable with the idea and the fact that you're single right now. And I feel like it's going to be a deepening of that heart space for yourself. And you're going to be out there doing your thing. I do feel like some of you will meet a person you're not really compatible with. So there's a couple of you that might end up meeting someone. And to me, this feels like the universe kind of saying, hey, here's this person that's not compatible for you, but maybe you're notorious for overlooking red flags and not setting boundaries or honoring what it is that you want out of fear of missing out or settling on some level. So I really want you to pay attention if that happens when you're meeting someone new. Kind of pay attention. And that's for those of you that tend to overlook the red flags. Now, those of you that are overly picky and critical and have like this finite list of must-haves and must-don'ts and, that basically you're not ever really giving someone a chance and immediately like, oop, red flag, shutting them down. Well, those of you, I feel like will be falling into the opposite category where you're going to be triggered with those feelings, but maybe all of a sudden you're able to like be a little more compassionate, communicate a little bit more, and get to know this person a little bit more so that you can actually see if you are compatible. Finances. I feel like some of you that have been struggling with finances are finally going to realize it's time to get some outside help. You need to get help. So if that is you, I feel like you need to go online, look for some free online budgeting tools, or get a friend that you trust that's methodical about being able to manage money or know how to create a budget in order to help you with your cash flow. It's time to just get some assistance with that. There's no point in struggling when really there's a few things that you can tweak here and there in order to find some relief financially. For some, I feel money's going to be flowing easily this week. I feel like finances should be going well. I don't feel any real struggles. I feel some of you will start saving a little bit extra because the cash flow is a little more ebb and flow. So I do feel like you're going to be in a spot where you're like, oh, let me just shove some extra cash aside for a rainy day. Others, I feel like you're going to be cutting expenses. You're really going to be paying attention to what's happening financially, and you'll realize, oh, you know what? I really don't need to pay $250 for the cable bill because I have every single channel known to man, and I only watch 3 of them. So these are things where you can find some spaces to cut some of your costs, and that will put a little extra cash in your pocket so you're not feeling so strangled financially. Health, I feel there's going to be an overall sense of increased self-discipline for some of you this week. I do feel there's also going to be a group of you that will end up reaching out and getting some assistance when it comes to maybe finding like a personal trainer to help you work out, maybe a wellness coach to help you lose some weight, either way, or maybe even both. So I definitely feel like some of you are going to be reaching out for that sort of help. I also feel some of you that have been having symptoms that and like you're having like these weird freaky symptoms. You've kind of gone to the doctor, but nobody really knows what's going on. And I feel like you're going to decide to track your symptoms and see if they relate to anything that you're actually putting in your body, putting on your body, and or connected to your emotions and your feelings. So definitely pay attention to that as well, because I think you'll make the connection for that. Oh, and then those of you that are really good about exercising and working out and you're active people, this is another week where I feel like you need to be mindful while you're exercising or doing anything sporty. I feel like some of you could end up with some minor injuries like bruises, sprains, and strains. Nothing, major, but still, why put yourself in that situation? And then there's those of you that I feel like you've had an injury recently and you're just in this process of healing. So for those of you, I feel like you just need to be easy with yourself. You will have that get up and go energy this week. So you might just be at a stage where you've been maybe bedridden or had to rest, whatever the case is, but you'll feel good and you'll want to overdo it. So just be mindful of that. Spirituality this week, I just feel like some of you will actually receive some messages from helpful spiritual advisors, maybe even some guides. I feel like some of you will actually connect with your own intuition more and become more aware of things that you cannot see, but things that you can feel and sense. Others, I feel like you'll have a whole new way of looking at things spiritually, which will be a huge appeal for you. And it's going to get you to like research. And I feel like you'll find yourself spending money on some sort of spiritual cause to help yourself and maybe even give back to the community in some way. So that wraps up this week's predictions. I hope everyone has a great week ahead. I do feel like it's going to be a week that kind of ebbs and flows. Nothing too intense unless you've been stuck in really negative patterns. Then I do feel like the intensity will be a little more on you. There will be a little more pressure because, again, this is about awakening and realizing stuff about yourself, basically. It's time to let things go. So let's see if I can get some messages, get a message from a crossed over loved one. For those of you who that are subscribed to my YouTube channel, if you'd like to receive messages, please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. It helps me filter out all of the spirits that want to come hang out and just talk to me and not have a message for anyone. So let me see who I can connect with here really quickly. Okay, so this message is for Karen. Your dad is hanging out here, and he's not being very specific, but he's hung up about his watch and about his ashes and something about a flag. I don't know if you have a flag. He's talking about your mom too. So I don't know if there's a flag at your mom's or you have a flag at home in the garage with his watch. But for whatever reason, I feel like he wants you to display the ashes, the flag, and the watch, and like kind of have like this little shrine to him. Is the vibe that I get, and he's actually laughing right now because he's like saying it sounds ridiculous when I'm saying it out loud. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's feeling a little. Funnily enough, I feel like he's being a little clingy and a little needy. There seems to be some sort of connection with that. And also with your mom, I feel like he is wanting you to check on your mom. I feel like there's some concern with him there. He's not being, again, specific, but maybe take a look and see and check in on your mom. And that's really all he had to say. I hope that makes sense to you. Let me know if it does. Before I take the caller, I would like to go ahead and do the moment of Zen since I haven't been doing it recently because I'm going over on time. So let's go ahead and do a quick moment of Zen to give you an energetic boost to help you release some of these denser energies. And I want to help you raise your vibration so that you can become more aware and deal with some stuff that might come up for you this week. So if you go ahead and close your eyes, open your palms, and just tell yourself you're open to receive, I'm going to ask your guides and my guides and the universe basically just to send some energy your way to raise your vibration. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes and come on back. Of course, you know, like I said, I am notorious for always taking my sweet time. So let me get on the call with Josephine. And Josephine is in Gregory, Texas. Hi, Josephine. I'm sorry, we have like 6 minutes. So how can I help you this evening? I'm so sorry.
It's fine. I just really had a question. I've been wondering if I'd ever locate my son's father because I have so much trouble looking for him. And I don't know if maybe you could help me with that.
I don't feel like you're going to get closure with that. I don't feel like it's going to be... I don't feel like it would be anytime soon. I almost feel like it would be maybe a couple of years and maybe you hear something through the rumor mill, but I just don't know. And I can't tell if like something happened to him, but I just feel like I almost feel like he's not MIA by choice, but like so I don't know if there's a possibility he could be, you know, somewhere else, maybe incarcerated, or I just don't feel like he is able. It's really weird. It's like, I don't know how to explain the feeling I have. I mean, I just feel like he's almost non-existent. Does that make any sense to you?
Yes, actually it does, because he has, I've been trying to locate him, but he has no knowledge of my son. He never knew I was pregnant or anything. So,
yeah, and man,
and it's been 10 years. I've been trying to look for him and nothing.
I kind of feel like you need to maybe take a step back and let it go. And at that point, you might get some information, but I don't know that. I don't want to say he's passed away because I'm not getting that too strongly, but there's something about him just, I don't know, it's weird. Like he's disappeared in some way, and I can't tell if it's because he's crossed over or because he's incarcerated or he's like out of the country. But I feel like you just need to kind of maybe let it go. I do feel like you'll find out in a couple more years. To me, it feels like somewhere between 2 to 4 years, all of a sudden you're going to connect to somebody that you mutually knew back then.
I have 2 friends that are, honestly, they want to be with me, and they're both willing to help me raise my son. I just don't know if those are good decisions to make with them or whatnot. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm so confused about it. So I don't know about that either. Like,
I feel like those are not good relationship choices for you. I do feel, you said there's 2, right?
Yes. One's a childhood friend, and the other one, I've only been talking to him a couple of months.
Okay. So I think there's actually a 3rd person that could come into the picture sometime before the end of the year. I feel like you need to not put pressure on yourself to make a choice. I feel you should genuinely just date all of them, and kind of figure out who you're more compatible with, because I feel like there is going to be a deepening. Like, I feel like love is coming your way and you're going to know it, but you need to give yourself the opportunity to actually figure out what you want. And right now you're acting out of fear and concern because you're looking for someone to help you raise your son. Like, you want to do right by your son. So I don't want you to end up settling. So just take your time with it.
And honestly, one of my old ex-boyfriends is going to be coming around soon, I believe.
I feel like it's somebody new. I don't feel like it's anybody from your past that is who you're going to be ending up with.